Now, once again, Raymond Arroyo.
Welcome back to The World Over Live. My next guest is taking part in the 35th Annual All-Star Independence Day Concert from D.C., a Capitol 4th. It's watched on PBS by millions of Americans and on American Forces Network by our troops serving abroad. He is an award-winning actor, best known for his work in Goonies, Die Hard, and of course as a Bond villain. He's a screenwriter, a director, and a vocalist. To tell us about his role in this year's concert and more, we're joined by our pal, Robert Davi.
Hey.
Robert, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me,
Great
Raymond.
to see you. Now,
Great to see
you're
you.
going
Vocalist?
to... Vocalist.
Vocalist.
Why? What do you want to be known as? Singer?
Jazz singer.
Jazz singer. You're a vocalist.
No,
You're more than a jazz singer.
I know, no.
Jazz singer is like Nina Simone.
Well, she was wonderful.
Yeah, but your range is a little broader here. You're almost, you know, you've got an operatic and then
vocalist
you've got the jazz.
like, yes, it is.
Well, I'm trying to...
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to be honest here. Honest broker.
Yes,
Tell me about Independence Day. Your father was a veteran. What does this day mean to you?
Oh, gosh.
What did he teach you?
Well, you got to, first, something very emotional happened recently when I was in Italy. I did The Voice in Italy.
Yeah.
I was the guest artist because of my friend J-Ax, who's the big rapper
in Italy, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's one of the judges there. So I was the guest for their Sinatra tribute, and afterwards, the town that my grandfather, my father's father, Franco Davi, that's how we say it here, was from. And my grandmother, Maria Carola. So they got in touch with me and are going to make me an honorary citizen of Torretta. But they sent me a plaque that's in the city of my grandfather, who I never knew, had a brother whose name was Salvatore. Now, my father's name was Salvatore. And on the plaque, the name is Davi, D-A-V-I apostrophe. And they told me that the name is really spelled D-A-V-I apostrophe, D-A-V-I, Davi. Yeah. And so my father's father, Franco Davi, was in the U.S. infantry for World War I.
Oh, wow.
I just found out a week ago that his brother, I found out on my birthday, the day before my birthday, that my grandfather had a brother who was killed in the Austrian-Italian War, in that World War I. And my father was a World War II vet for the Navy. He was a gunner on a merchant marine ship, as well as a lot of my uncles, and a lot of other Americans, of course. But my father, every 4th of July, Veterans Day and Memorial Day, put on his Navy uniform and raised that American flag. So for me, there's a huge, huge moment to be able to hear at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. on the birth of our nation, and being able to tribute someone who was so meaningful in my career.
Yeah, now this is really a two-part tribute. You're tributing America, and you're tributing someone very near and dear to us, and particularly to you, a man who really was instrumental in your film career.
Yeah, he was had my first film with Frank Sinatra in 1977, Contract on Cherry Street, and when I started singing, I started doing these tribute to him. And the Great American Songbook, which is the Shakespeare of America, because it's the amalgam of the American experience. You know, it comes from the black jazz and gent blues artists, and the Welsh, Irish, Scottish, English, German, Norwegian, Irish, Lebanese, who've been here since the Revolutionary War, and a large portion from the sons and daughters of Jewish immigrants. So this amalgam of the American experience, that Sinatra, you needed the Italian to sing it, of course, is just wonderful to be able to celebrate that on this PBS special that the Colberts have been producing, Capitol 4th.
Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. Now, tell me how this came to be. First of all, when I heard Robert Davi was going to be singing at the Capitol 4th, and this is a star-studded affair. Barry Manilow, Alabama, Casey and the Sunshine Band. I could go on. Lang Lang, the pianist.
Nicole Zwirling.
When you were asked to take part in this, what did you think? What did you want to sing?
Well, of course, my dream would have been to sing The House I Live In, because what is America to me? That lyric, I do it in my show, and it gets an amazing response. I also did it with David Foster at a charity event, and I said to David, I says, this will get the crowd. He goes, really? I says, yeah. He says, watch. And afterwards, when the standing ovation happened, he goes, hey, you were right, you know? Because it's such a powerful song and typifies our country here. But that being said, in this tribute to Sinatra, there'll be a moment of that, which is very stirring. And I then will come on and give my tribute, which will be a song that will have everyone hopefully on their feet.
Tell me what it's been like for you over these last few years, since you recorded that Sinatra album. What has it been like touring not only the country but the world?
Yeah, I toured Australia. I just got back from Latvia, Sweden, Budapest.
Is the reaction the same no matter where you go to this music?
Yeah. America
Why
is
is it? What do you think it is?
Because I just said how I framed what the American Songbook is as the Shakespeare of America, and the amalgam of the cultures that helped go into making this songbook. It translates around the world because there's something that just is. I just did the United Nations. I did the presidential gala for the transformative power of music Tuesday night, and they had some of the greatest African artists there, and the Watutu Children's Choir from Uganda, and as well as Bob Marley's son, Keimani Marley. Just a wide variety. Musical director is Robin DiMaggio. And it was just an amazing, very emotional moment. But here it is, all these cultures at the United Nations that responded to the music because of that experience.
That's so human. I mean, and particularly the music that Frank Sinatra epitomized. There's a deep humanity and truth in it. I think it covers really all the ages of man, from birth to death, really. It's an incredible,
Yeah,
journey.
well, it can, and that's the American Songbook. And he sang it and interpreted it, I think, better than anyone.
No, like no one else. Well, you're keeping up with him. Tell me what.
Well, that'll take a bit.
What do you want people to take away from this concert, from your participation in it this year as they watch on PBS?
Well, I want them to be entertained and feel like they've had the best set at home, and that PBS brought them, and the Colberts here, the Capitol concerts, and also the, this is by our nation's gift to the people, and to sit back and feel that the cohesive unity in this very difficult time that we're feeling in our country, that this is a moment for reflection of unity. You know, Raymond, when Martin Luther King died, I was a little kid, and I watched this funeral. And I watched on TV in a pine box pulled by 2 mules in a rickety carton, the totality of the human struggle and a sea of people behind him. And I thought to myself at that age, we're either going to pull it apart or we're going to pull it together. And now what happened in South Carolina, and we saw the response, the Christian response of love, of forgiveness, the absolute epitome of what Christ has said, and the example of that in terms of forgiveness, no matter how difficult that is for people. So that's what we have to bring forward, and that's what the music is about. It's about bringing love to the world. And look, we're in a dangerous world.
No doubt.
I'm a realist. I'm not, you know what I mean? I understand we have to be, but the essence of it all is us being cohesive as a nation and bring that forward to the world.
Yeah, to celebrate the great glories of this nation amid the shadows that are around
Yes, I mean, America is the... Look, people can argue about what policies a human being made while in office, but the idea of America, that shining city on a hill, that's an amazing place. And no matter where I went in the world, American exceptionalism is alive and well.
Thank you so much for bringing
Raymond,
unity to so many, and we'll be watching for you this year.
The world over, brother.
You're
Take
kind.
care.
Thank you. Robert Davi, CD. Davi Sings Sinatra on the Road to Romance is available online and via download on iTunes and Spotify. A Capital Fourth airs Saturday, July 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on PBS. Check your local listings for the PBS station in your area. It's always a grand affair and worth your time.